we're going through Billboard's top, I guess, 40 through 31. I found it right here, and thanks for the heads up, Dame, in the chat. So, Dr. Dre's number 40. Woo! Dr. Dre over Redman. Let's get it. Okay. Dr. Dre's 40. I want to see how they said this. They said Dr. Dre would be the first to tell you that he's not a traditional MC. They covered that part. During his 30-plus career, the global best-selling producer often cited hip-hop's GOAT behind the boards, boasts a treasury trove of lyricists who have written for him. From Ice Cube to DLC to Snoop Dogg to Eminem, Jay-Z, and Kendrick Lamar. However, Andre Young's legacy has as a lead rapper on 3 separate era-defining albums: 1988 Straight Outta Compton, his solo headlining debut album The Chronic, and 2001 Can't Be Denied. On The Chronic, his 1992 triple platinum certified gangster rap opus, Dr. Dre has exhibited an effortless delivery on the mic with a commanding voice that's one of the genre's most recognizable, and hearing him master the double time flow on the 1999's Slim Shady featured Forgot About Dre from the 6-time platinum certified masterpiece 2001 is still a shock to the system. Now that's unfair. That's unfair to rate him as one of the 50 greatest rappers based on his performance of never writing down his own rhymes. Now, you guys, man, y'all were really, really strict on the fact that you don't think anybody could be considered if they've ever had a ghostwriter. This is a situation where there's only ghostwriters. Now, we don't know what Dr. Dre's pen looks like. His pen is invisible. What say you, Coop?
You see, this is what fuckery looks like.
We're going to take this slow. We didn't even know we were going to have this added to the show. This is great.
This is what fuckery looks like.
This is what live broadcasting is like.
No, this is what it looks like. I'm serious, where it's like, like none of us even, I mean, I don't have him ahead of MC Light or Queen Latifah either. Like, in all honesty.
Jadakiss.
Or
Jadakiss, man.
Definitely not Redman.
Listen, man.
Whoever, I wonder if, like...
And I know a lot of people probably out there like, why do you guys pay attention to these lists and this and that? We want you guys to see how publications lose their credibility in certain arenas in real time. Is there anything wrong with that? Jay Short with the super chat says, Jay's lost tapes would make a lot of sense. New music without having to make new music. No pressure. If it's not good, we'll just discard it. Yeah, it'll just be discarded. Exactly. That is definitely a win-win situation, as Jigga would say.
It's very well played.
DFW Herbie with the super chat says, since we giving my guys Sky Zoo love, we also got to shout out to cats like Homeboy Sandman and Rock Marciano too. I love Rock Marciano. And honestly, when it comes to Homeboy Sandman, people talk about skilled rappers and skilled MCs and this and that. Homeboy Sandman is as skilled as it gets, man. I saw him at A3C. It might have been like 10 years ago, man. That dude got on the mic commanding everything, and just his wordplay and flow and all that. Sick. And we're going to get to some of them MCs because we asked you guys, you know, who would y'all like to see us interview at A2HH, and those are some of the people that are on the list. You want to know who's 39, Coop?
You know, since we're here and we're live.
Luda.
Okay.
Ludacris. Okay.
I could see that being about.
I think 39 is just fair for Ludacris.
Yeah, I think 39 would be a fair placement. Yes.
I don't really have to read, you know, why that is. I think that's a decent placement. Now, again, we haven't done a deep dive, but you know, it's okay. Gucci Mane at 38.
See, now we have a problem again.
You got a problem again?
Yeah, you think Gucci's ahead of Luda?
Listen, this is what I'll say. I think that when it comes to just bar for bar, and you set both of these guys here, and you ask one to rap and the other to rap, clearly Ludacris is the better rapper. But if we talk about from a longevity standpoint, we talk about from a impact standpoint, and then just being able to give to the youth in the ways that Gucci has. Gucci's heavily influential. I will say that. I don't have too much of a problem with Gucci being ahead of Luda, but in my personal preference, I would probably listen to Luda's music first. Ooh, 37. You're going to love this. Common.
I'm going to have to be out.
Common is at 37. The disrespect. Now, this is disrespectful, people.
So
this is disrespectful. Okay. I think I should read this.
Don't get pimp slapped.
Lonnie Rashid Lynn was seemingly carrying the hopes and dreams and aspirations of an entire Chicago rhyme community on his back with his 1992 Can I Borrow a Dollar. You know the part that's wild about this? They seem very informed about the MCs when they're actually writing, the passages under there, right? And then it says, Can I Borrow a Dollar? It took a minute, but Common, then Common Sense, finally garnered the national praise after launching one of the most celebrated 3-album runs in rap history. 1994's Resurrection, 1997's One Day It All Makes Sense, and 2000's Like Water for Chocolate. Few lyricists possess the dexterity to pull off a brilliant, allegory about the history of hip hop on As I Used to Love Her, while also firing off a savage takedown and some fearsome Ice Cube on the Bitch in You. Like, they are very knowledgeable about his history. And then later becoming a Grammy-nominated hitmaker with The Light. And in 2017, even though they skipped B and all that, I don't know if that's intentional because of the Kanye connection. But in 2017, Common became the first rapper to get the first 3/4 of a way to the EGOT by winning an Emmy, by winning a Grammy, and an Oscar with John Legend and Selma. All that being said, y'all got him at number 37. The fact that he is 31 years into the game, still making music. And I would say Common, by many people's estimation, let's just be real. Common could possibly have 4 classics under his belt. I think it's 2 personally. But there could be an argument made for 4.
I think he's got 2. You don't. So I mean, you're talking about Like Water for Chocolate and B, of course.
Mm-hmm. But I think there could be an argument made for Resurrection. How do you feel about
Resurrection, though?
I think Resurrection could be considered a classic. I think that I Used to Love Her is so overbearing as a, so it has way more impact than everything else on the album. But what Resurrection did for the region and what it did for that city, it could definitely be considered a classic. I think from a conceptual standpoint, you could say the same thing with Like Water for Chocolate. I think that the only thing that those 2 efforts are missing is like more of a national impact. But I think a lot of that's just a regional thing because he's not from the East Coast. You know what I mean?
No, I personally believe that Like Water for Chocolate and B are both classic albums. I would tell you that Resurrection, for me, the way that it's held up, I would be comfortable giving it like classic status.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And with that being said, I would say that he probably has 3 and he has a possible in Finding Forever.
Yeah. And he has a possible. I think he has a possible in One Day It'll All Make Sense.
It'll make sense. So I'd say he has 3 and 2 strong possibles.
Yeah. And I mean, that's 5 there, and that's not counting
5 great albums. Yeah, that's 5 great albums.
That's not counting the quality albums like, Black America Again. That's a quality album. I think that The Dream of the Believer is a quality album. He only has, in my opinion, he has 1 dud. That's that Universal Mind Control. That shit's garbage. Now, I did like Electric Circus, and most people don't like Electric Circus.
No, he's had more than one dud. He's made a few duds, but
Mm.
not too many guys are walking around and can say that I've made 5 great rap albums.
You're right.
Like
There's
how many?
a
Because how
small
about
handful.
this? There aren't 36 guys that can walk around and say that, so he definitely shouldn't be 37.
There aren't 10 guys. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, comment at 37, throw the whole list away. Garbage. Jay Short with the super chat says, so we saying that Jada is definitely better than Siegel outside of longevity. They both are about 2 good albums and equal number of standout verses. This is what I'll say, Jay Short. It's all longevity in my personal opinion. I was somebody sent me one of them. Man, it was them DVDs back in the day. You remember when Siegel was rhyming in the jail cell?
Mm-hmm.
Like, Siegel was special, dog. Like, at that point, if you ask me in 2003 who the better rapper was, I'm saying Beanie Siegel, no question. It's not even I think Jada got him in the long run. But at that point, it's Siegel, no question.
See, this is what I mean in a vacuum, and I'll tell you what. My brother Rico, owner of Black Dad Gang, like, he used to tell me, and Rico can spit too. He used to be like, Siegel's top 5. Like, around that time, like 02, 03, 04, 05, he's like, no, he's like, he top 5. He's like, Nas, Jay, whoever else you want to throw in the mix. He's like, no, he's right there with those guys. He's like, he can out-rap those guys, actually. So it's like, I was like, what about Kiss? He's like, Kiss ain't even, he's like, you seen what he did to Kiss. So it's like, in their respective primes, when Siegel's on his shit, Mike, everybody's in trouble.
No, for real. And then you
for
mix
real. He's
in
a
the
top
fact,
5 all-time. He has top 5 all-time MC capability.
he has every skill set you could think of. He's very Biggie-ish in that way. You know what I mean? Like,
very Biggie-ish.
And it's like, he can tell the stories. He can make you feel. He has the subject matter. And that's why, like, at that point, outside of the battle, I would definitely pick Siegel over Jada for the fact that he had so much subject matter. He could give you some, this can't be life type of feels. He could give you that feeling in the air feel. Like,
that's
Jada
right.
hadn't proven at that point that he could do those things.
Like, that's what I mean. It's sometimes, I guess this is where style points come into play. It is like a how you do it type of thing. Like, a feel it in the air or a what's your life like.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that he does it. It's that you feel him when he does it. That's very Scarface.
You feel it on a Scarface level, yes.
But then you look at his lyrical capabilities, and that's where it gets frightening because he can make you feel like on a Tupac and Scarface level, a DMX level, but he can spit like lyrically with a Black Thought, with a J, with a Nas. And so it's like, no, that guy is frightening. He is frightening.
I want to bring Puffy into the discussion again.
How did Puffy end up in
I want to bring him into the discussion
again. How
again.
did that happen?
Follow me real quick. I want to bring him into the discussion again. I feel like if Beanie Siegel were like the flagship artist and not, second to the flagship artist that was actually in his prime and getting the main focus when it came down to production, I think Beanie Siegel could have actually made a One More Chance. I think Beanie Siegel could have actually made Big Pop. Like, close your eyes and hear Beanie Siegel rhyming over those records. I could hear it. I could hear Biggie making not Biggie. I could hear Siegel making One More Chance. And even when Siegel got that opportunity to make that In the Club record with Timbaland, he knocked it out the park. We never saw anything like that again.
Nope. See, this is what I'll give you. The In the Club thing is a home run, first of all. So you're absolutely correct about that. In the Club is a banger.
Jada tried to work with Timbaland in that era. It didn't work out like that.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. In order for that to happen, it's not, I don't even know if that's a Puff thing. This is what, I hate to say it, this is why great rappers specifically shouldn't sign to other rappers' labels, especially if the rapper's great as well. Like,
and it only worked for Kanye because he made his own beats.
He's different.
Yep.
I told you he's different. He does not fall into that category. He's not a Beans. He's not a guy that you're literally pulling out the slums. And it's like, where'd this guy come from? Like, it's different. The reason that I even started checking Siegel wasn't even like Siegel. I was listening to him. It was the way Jay was talking about Siegel.
He was.
Jay was talking about Siegel, the way he talks about Nas, the way he talks about Big, the way he talks about Rakim. I was like, hold on. I was like, is he this nice? I was like, let me listen to this dude. I'm like, oh, this dude is this nice.
He was talking about him to a level where I felt like it was disrespectful to Memphis Bleak at the time. He was like, he's Pippin and this and that, and I was like, okay.
Oh, yeah, but that was easy. Like as far as I don't know how the personal relationship went, but as far as like on some rap shit, he was like absolutely right. No,
he was right.
Immediately.
Yeah, Siegel had gifts.
Immediately. He had top 5 gifts. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
He didn't just have like top 10, 20 MC type of gifts. He had top 5 all-time MC type of
He
gifts.
had Biggie gifts. I think that's the only person I could really compare Benny Siegel's skill set to. He had the voice. He had the storytelling ability. He had the subject matter. He had the raw skill. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you think about it, he kind of was, I don't want to say the next Biggie in that way, but he had a Biggie skill set at a very high level.
No, I think that's a very astute observation by you and an accurate one. Because when you look at the skill set, it's not just here's where it's Biggie like. It's not just the skill set is there, because a lot of people have a Biggie like skill set. I think Kendrick has a Biggie like skill set, but he doesn't have like Beans hit some shit out the park. Yeah. Like on every level, like the way Big do. And that's the thing with Big. It's like, well, it's not just that Big is like a top 5 talent. Like, how about this? When you're a top 5 talent, you're usually top 5 or 10 in everything.
Well, like you said,
how many people
most of those guys don't sign to other great MCs in their prime. Like, luckily, J. Cole signed to Jay when Jay was sitting down. You know what I mean? And J. Cole, on top of that, he produces his own stuff, so he might not have fallen in that same category either.
See, this is what I mean. Like, Beans in a vacuum, just like in a vacuum, I'll take him over a lot of guys. Like, him in a vacuum would be, like, an easy top 15 on my list. Like, just off what he's done, because I know what he's really like on the mic. Like, even the, not the joint, the Look at Me Now. I was about to say, right before the joint with Jay on the Becoming, the Look at Me Now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I mean. Like, no, regular rap dudes don't make records like that.
I mean, even when he went back and forth with Jay on Once Again It's On, like,
yeah, but it's not regular.
And I say this, like, respectfully to Siegel, like, they sounded on the same level. You know what I mean? Like, you could hear when Jay rhyming with somebody who's not at his level. It sounded like Jay was rhyming with, like, Sauce Money back in the day, or even Big, like, the way they was going back and forth.
No, it was very Biggie-like in that regard, because Siegel was letting you know on the verse, Twin Towers here to ruin niggas.
Yeah.
Like, he said that, and you know. Like,
you scared
that was
because
real.
I glue a jigger? Man, like a compository sketch. DFW Herbie with the super chat says, Common is one of my favorites, but do think that he is sometimes held up by his production, excuse me. Just asking. Do you think that Common has a production problem?
Sometimes.
I got a lot to say about this.
Sometimes.
And I've said this on this show, and I hope that people don't take this the wrong way, because I got love for everybody. But I've just never been that big of a fan of No ID's production. It's cool. It's good to rap to, but it's nothing that knocks the doors down. And I think that production issue DFW Herbie is speaking towards is, once again, No ID production. Because I know you're not talking about like Water for Chocolate. I know you're not talking about B. You're not talking about Finding Forever. You know what I'm saying? And really, if we were to talk about from a production standpoint, in my opinion, Electric Circus is great. The production on Electric Circus is great. He just doesn't sound that great over some of those records. Are we gonna knock Dilla production for Electric Circus?
Okay, so here's what I'm not gonna do. I'm not about to sit up here and knock Dilla. But here's what I am gonna submit to you. He just be having great producers, and I think he be picking the wrong beats from the great producers. And I almost feel like he's one of those guys where it's like, nah, fam, I made this track for you. You rapping to this. And that's what I feel like being
What
Finding
songs
Forever
are we talking about? Because did you not like the beat for Come Close?
I don't love it.
Really?
I like it. I like it.
Come Close is beautiful.
I love the record and the message of the record and the simplistic, like beautiful nature of the record more than I actually love the beat. The beat ain't all that to me. The beat's just solid.
I think the beat's very dreamy. I think that's what they were going for. Like, what common beats would you say that you don't love? Because, I mean, the Sixth Sense is crazy.
No, it's not. This is what I mean. So you have to look. Okay, so take a One Day It'll All Make Sense in 1997. Now juxtapose that to some of the other production jobs getting done in 1997. You see what I'm saying?
You talk about No ID. This is a No ID conversation.
I don't know if it's totally a No ID conversation.
Didn't he do most of that album?
No, I'm trying to let you know it's a conversation, Mike, because I'm going to be honest with you. Since Finding Forever, the beats ain't really slapped like that from Colin. He's had some moments. He be having some moments, but since Finding Forever, it's been touch and go.
Well, as
far as the beat selection, been touch and go since Finding Forever.
What did he do after Finding Forever, though, Coop? He went back to No ID. He did. This might be a No ID conversation. Because No ID did the whole Dreamer Believer.
That's very problematic.
I'm just saying. Andrew Green with the super chat. And, you know how we feel about 444. That's mostly because of No ID. We just got to keep it real.
I don't know. There are two people to blame.
Andrew Green with the super chat says, "Yo, Coop, is there any plug info you could drop here amongst the community? I detect some sort of new Nas / Hit Boy release around the corner. I don't know if an album or not, though. Blink twice if I'm right."
That's hilarious. Won't be getting any of that out of me.
People want to know, and I saw this in the section where we were asking like for interviews. They want to know if we can get an interview with you in the plug. And, I thought that was an interesting ask for people. So figured we would address that on the show too.
I think that she may be working on something and I might end up on there. So we'll see how that goes.
Okay.
I don't know though.
Number 36. You ready for this? Yasin Bey, formerly known as Mos Def.
So we're going to have to pause.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, what do you think about the production on Resurrection? That's No ID.
I don't love it. It's, Resurrection, I think that the standout moments are the fact that he changed his whole style in the way he was rapping. That's I Used fair. To Love Her is about him. It's not about the beat.
Oh, that's fair. I'm asking questions. You don't shoot the messenger.
Oh, please, no, I'm just saying.
Nobody Smiling. Who did that?
That's where I don't know who did Nobody Smiling.
Okay, whoever did that need to stop that.
I don't know who did Nobody Smiling. I think that's a good question. Hold on. But once again, and I'm not trying to be like this or whatever, but when people move away from Kanye West, bad things happen, man. Production-wise.
Not bad. We'll see what Pusha T's next album sounds like.
Pusha T might be a different situation. He got Pharrell in him. Let me see who produced Nobody Smiling. I'm sure some people in the chat know. No ID executive produced Nobody Smiling.
It might be a No ID problem, Mike. All right.
It might be. Again. Oh.
But don't be telling me. No. Mike, but don't tell me the cats want to rhyme over them beats on Electric Circus. All right, because they don't.
Aquarius is fire. No ID.
Record, Mike. There's like 2 or 3 records on there like that, Mike.
No ID produced all the songs on Nobody Smiling except for Kingdom, which was produced by James Posey.
I came from Kingdom. Might have had the best drums on it. I'm out.
It did. I know
Kingdom had the best drums.
I know it's not popular to say, but I think it's. Look, I'm gonna say this. This is obviously has no effect on his all-time whatever. Just my personal preference. I'm not that big on the No ID production. Now I will say, DOA is amazing. So yeah, I'll say that. We might have
to do a Common dig and see what Common's best songs are, and to see how many of them are produced by No ID. Because here's what I mean. No, there's stuff I like Invocation. To start the One Day It All Makes Sense. You don't like that beat?
Yeah, listen, I love One Day It'll All Make Sense, but like you said before we even got to this, when you match it up with the rest of 1997 from a production standpoint, because DFW said it's a production thing, yeah, it doesn't match up to the rest of 1997, though. It doesn't. You know what came out in 97? The Benjamins.
I know. I was just thinking about that beat. No, I was just thinking about that beat.
And I was thinking about Lucchini.
That's what I was thinking about. Just the beats on No Way Out when I was thinking about it.
Yeah, Lucchini from Camp Low. Yeah, I mean, it don't match up with that stuff. Now, when he got with Dilla and, Soul Aquarians, I think that the production really, really stepped up. Okay. And then when he got to Kanye, he made his best stuff.
Okay, somebody just said Common's last 3-4 albums are good in the chat. Mike, I want to make sure I'm reading that right, put my glasses on. Might have to ban somebody from the chat.
Okay, all right. What do you think about them putting Mos Def ahead of Common? I think that's direct disrespect. And I say that as a huge Mos Def fan.
We wanted you more than we wanted him. And still we feel that way, so we're going to put him one slot ahead.
You know my theory.
We have no viable evidence.
You know my theory, and I think I've said that. I said this on the show. Mos Def was the poster child for the backpack rapper in the early 2000s. Mos Def was the real double threat when it came to being an MC and being an actor. And Mos Def was in Brown Sugar. They actually had Mos Def acting alongside of Beyonce and Carmen. All this acting stuff that Common is doing, they wanted this for Mos Def. Mos Def said, I'm out. And they was like, called Common up from the minors. Unfortunately, it is what it is. And like you said, this list right here kind of makes it seem like, yeah, we still like the other guy more. After all the work that Common's done, Mos Def doesn't have the catalog to even be in front of Common on a list like this. But granted, from a straight up raw ability standpoint, I think that, if I heard both of these guys just spitting in the park, I'm picking Mos Def. Not by a whole lot, but, I'm just saying. But as far as catalog goes, he shouldn't be in front of Common.
I mean, no, Mike, the only place that you are picking him, like the only place that you're picking him over Common is like literally, like vocally and like live off the top of the head. And that's saying a lot because Common's pretty stellar. Mm-hmm. But most is like that. And here's what I'll say about Common. The most underrated part of Common's game might be his songwriting ability. Mm-hmm. Because Common knows how to write all types of songs. I think the only thing that he does not necessarily like over excel at, he's great at it. I don't know if he's all-time great at it. Is his storytelling capability, I think, is the only real B in his lyrical arsenal. Everything else, I think he's an A at. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? As far as MCing goes, it's I
agree.
Like everything else he does, like his ability to make a hit record is there. His ability to make a street record, his ability to make a battle record. Mm-hmm. Think about this. And when I mean battle record, I don't just mean like the bitch in you. I mean stuff like Hungry on One Day It'll All Make Sense. Yeah. Or The Game. Or Shy City on B, where it's like, no, that nigga just rapping. You know what I'm saying? I rap with the passion of Christ. Nigga crossed me, took it out of space, and niggas thought they lost me.
I'm back like a chiropractic D-boy survival rap. This ain't 94, Joe. We can't go back.
No, he can rap and put that in a song format, though. Like, Mike, a lot of niggas can rap. A lot of guys can rap like that, but they can't put it in a song that's palatable and digestible over a duration of time. That's why I'm bringing up the different songs from different albums. It's like, oh, no, he can consistently get on the mic and bust your ass. It don't matter if it's Ice Cube in 92. It don't matter if it's 97. It don't matter if it's 02. It don't matter if it's 04. No, he can.
Even his conceptual records, like when you're talking about a song for Asada, like Ghetto Heaven and records like that. I mean, one thing I always would give Common respect for is, first of all, he's always stepped in the arena with great MCs. But at the prime of Cannabis, he was the only person to put Cannabis on the record and go back and forth with him. Nobody was doing that. And if you think about it, back then, the only people getting on records, or the only records they were letting Cannabis on, were posse cuts. Like, nobody was trying to go one-on-one with him on the record. It just didn't happen. Now, he did call up Rakim for his album, But nobody was putting cannabis on a record like that, and Common did it. And Common wasn't, didn't shy away from going bar for bar with the likes of a Cannabis in his prime in 1997. Not to mention jumping on Resurrection in my not Resurrection, Restoration, my personal favorite Black Star song, and back in Cleanup after Mos and Talib.
Does he have the best verse on that song?
He does have the best verse on Respiration.
Hold on.
In my personal opinion. And even though Mos Def's verse is great and Talib got off on that record, again, everybody understood where they were at and understood who they were rapping with. Common consistently rhymed with the likes of Black Thought. He gave you 199. There's no reason, and it's great of an MC that I think that Mos Def is. Whether we talking 36, 37, whatever, there's no list where Mos Def should be in front of Common. That it's disrespectful to the long, illustrious career of Common and what he's been able to do. He honestly has a top 5, top 10 catalog.
No, he definitely has a top 10 catalog.
Yeah.
Even with all the critiques that you may be exposing about No ID a little bit, like there's still a lot of stellar songs even in those No ID pairings, and that even speaks more to maybe the quality of songwriter MC that he truly is. It's like, and we've said this before, like drop Common off in Brooklyn, he makes everybody's top 10 all time list.
Exactly.
Easy.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, you want to see who number 35 is?
Unfortunately, we're already halfway there, so let's
Future.
It's an interesting pick.
It is an interesting pick. I think that, and this is why
I'm cool with Future being over Luda and Gucci, though.
This is why I consistently leave Future off lists. He's just so tough to rate when it comes to rapping and MCing. He does something so different.
Can I tell you something? I had a conversation with some with a couple of twins, black women, our age demographic. And we had a subgenre rap conversation that I think is becoming very real and viable in people's minds, where it's like, where people are like, well, that's not really rap, like traditional rap. And so you want some plug talk? The plug even been telling me for months now, there needs to be a traditional rap category and an alternative rap category. You know what I'm saying? Like, truly. And so what I would tell you is that where I say Future is interesting, because it's like, I know you're doing a rapper list, and because there isn't an alternative list you created, you have to put him somewhere. But I would tell you that they're probably, like, there's enough of it going on now that there is a subgenre of this that is alternative, Mike, and not traditional. And he would be number 1 on that list. He
would be, definitely. This is what's problematic when it comes to him, right? In my personal opinion, because obviously his impact, his influence. I mean, I personally said he was the most impactful hip hop artist of the past decade. That was 2010s to 2019. But it's like we rate Drake based on his rapping and not his singing, correct? It's hard for me to understand when Future's rapping and when Future's singing. It's like, so him and Thug kind of do that too. It's like they do the whole rap singy thing so well, it feels like they're doing that same blend all the time.
Yeah. And, same thing with Ghana.
And honestly, and I'm just going to keep it a buck, and I'm a Future fan. The lyrics aren't that clear all the time. And listen, I'm from Atlanta. I speak, West Side. I can understand a lot of shit that most people wouldn't even understand, but from a lyrical standpoint, it's hard to rate sometimes, because sometimes even though the rhythm and the melodies and all that are there, they're in pocket and everything, but the words aren't always that clear. And I feel like from an MCing standpoint, clarity is a big part, right?
You have to understand the words that are coming out my mouth. Yes.
I want to see what they got to say about it. Eric Terrell with the super chat, though. He said the problem with Common is that he is cheesy skilled, but cheesy kind of like Lionel Richie, great songwriter, but like them both. I feel what Eric Terrell's saying. I think that I think that the later Common style, and we're not talking about the corners Common, we're not talking about the 6 cents or 199 Common, but he can kind of come across as the cheesy rapper, I guess, to a newer generation. I could see them thinking that because he'll get on stage, do a cat in the hat freestyle and stuff. You know what I mean?
There's nothing wrong with that. It's just like you can't be corny as hell all the time.
Yeah. And bars like
It's
off
the
the chain,
consistent
like,
corniness. It's the consistent corniness, and it's the lack of like. Here's what you have to realize. I'm not saying that you have to. You kind of do. It's like people want to hear certain things from you.
mm-hmm. He knows this.
And so you're when he raps, you're what I like to call a rapper's rapper. And so like we want to hear rappers songs on your projects because, well, quite frankly, all of your classic projects have them. You know what I mean? Like you obviously do it well. It's what all your classic projects have.
Common proves my
just
theory.
referenced it.
Common proves one of my theories, one of my many theories, and this is a big one, and I've said this for 20 plus years. Once you start acting seriously, it's over. And it's like your focus isn't on the music anymore, and it's not that Common's not nice anymore. He has a lot of things going on, and he's not able to just centrally focus on the music like he used to. Like a lot of those records you're talking about, that I'm talking about, he wasn't doing anything but rapping at that point. You know what I mean?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, hold on. There are a lot of other artists, we're not going to say their names, who, quite frankly, are getting off in their bag and getting off in their bag as MCs. You know what I'm saying? Like on both sides, like they're doing great MC and they ain't getting to the bag, like doing other things.
Are they acting though? Because that takes a lot of your time.
But I mean, that's the path he chose. You don't get to get absolved from it. Whatever foray outside of rap that you choose to delve into, because rap don't pay what it should, I understand.
I agree.
But when you are an MC of certain stature and certain standard and certain je ne sais quoi, well, we want to hear you make some fire shit. And when you don't, we gonna say it. And these last few albums been corny as hell. And that's just it at the end of the day.
Well, Common's currently doing Broadway right now. Like, and that, and listen, I went to a performing arts high school. A lot of my friends, they, have delved in Broadway, performed in Broadway. It's a lot of work. You know what I'm saying? And when you get up there with those actors and performers, you're not gonna have the likes of editing and things of that nature to carry you. You really got to put in that work. You really got to know that script, and you got to do it night in, night out. I don't see where music takes any level of place in that. Like you just don't have that kind of time to really focus on making a great piece of rap work. And I think that with the movies and all of that, he's probably, like you said, the money's one thing. But I'm pretty sure he has a passion for it now. And the passion that he has for that supersedes the passion that he has for MCing currently. And we can hear it. I feel like whenever Common puts out records since he's been acting heavily, it sounds very dialed in. I mean, is that a fair assessment?
I think that's a fair assessment and an accurate one. But those aren't our problems as listeners. It's just we're just here to like, try to enjoy the music. It's just been.
I'm not making an excuse for it. I'm just saying that's probably what we're getting. And
of course.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
Jay Short
that happens.
Yeah. Jay Short with the super chat says Common hurt himself. I love him as an MC, but these last few albums his music has been as safe and non-threatening as possible. No risk or edge. And that's a lot of part of, that's a part of being in Hollywood as well. You have a image as a certain individual, and you got to uphold that. We saw that with Will Smith when he made, Big Willie Style and all of that. Like, that was a safe album to make for a Hollywood actor.
I mean, he always kind of made safe material.
He did. He doubled down on Big Willie Style, though.
You don't like Big Willie style?
No, I like it. I'm just saying, like, I think that that's how Hollywood can affect, what you do musically, because you got to uphold that image. Like, Common has an image of being, saying it respectfully, the safe guy, right? And I think that when we hear his music now, we're not going to get a Hungry or anything like that.
No, I feel you.
DeCarlo with the super chat, he says, I agree. An alternative rap list having guys like Future and Drake makes me wonder where guys like Lil Jon and Uncle Luke would go. They're alternative too? Christopher Hogan with the super chat says, us Southerners get slight for our draw. Our words and slang, I'm from Louisiana. Our rappers get it all the time. But we got a lot of spitters. That's real. That's real. Currency's one of those people too, even though he doesn't have like a whole draw like that. That's why he ends up getting like a lot of the Alchemist production, whereas some of his counterparts might not. I think Fiend is one of those too. You were gonna say something, Coop? My bad.
No. You're all good. Go ahead.
I'm gonna read this Future thing real quick. Just see what they say. So they got Future at number 35. Embracing his nickname as the Toxic King. Future and his syrupy flow were driving forces in Atlanta claiming of the hip-hop throne in the 2010s. Pluto's epic mixtape 3P to Monster, Beast Mode, and 56 Nights, followed by the critically acclaimed DS2 and his What a Time to Be Alive joint project with Drake. They're gonna rank Drake really high.
Top 10.
Yeah.
Top 10, maybe top 5.
Yeah. All within the calendar year of 2015. Could be the best use of 365 days that a rapper could have ever seen. And that was only the tip of the iceberg after releasing 2022's I Never Liked You, featuring the current Grammy-nominated #1 single, Wait For You, and Drake, with Drake and Tim's. He now boasts 8 #1 albums and 10 top 10 100 hits to his name. Wow. Over a decade into his prolific career, Future Hendrix is more commercially relevant than ever. The ATL trap legend became the only artist to appear on the Hot 100 every week throughout 2020. I mean, that's illustrious. I think that, they made a very viable case for him being 35. All right, 34, Chuck D. I don't even want to read that. 33, Busta Rhymes. Listen, man, this 30s list is pretty heavy.
I want to see who they have ahead of these guys.
Everybody.
I don't know. The only one that kind of like makes me think it's like Chuck, 34.
32, T.I.
Hold on, what's 33?
Busta Rhymes.
Busta Rhymes and then T.I.?
Yep.
Okay.
31, Lil Kim.
I don't like that because that means they have Nicki ahead of her.
They got Nicki ahead of her. They got Kim ahead of Chuck.
Foxy's not making this list officially.
No. It's official. Yes, thank you. It's official. Foxy has been erased again.
Yeah.
Yeah, Foxy's not on this list.
Don't tell me that how you act don't matter. Look at what they're doing to Fox.
Why are they doing this to Foxy?
Behavior. They're literally taking out her,
right.
they're taking her behavior back out on her on the back end and not giving her due.
I don't like
everybody.
that.
Yeah, no, it's wrong. It's totally wrong. We're supposed to be judging people on the merits of their work.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's a sexist thing too, because guys act like whatever and it's cool, but if a woman act like this, it's a problem.
I mean, how about this? I mean, Dr. Dre has like multiple domestic violence allegations against him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And he doesn't have to, face any of the ridicule for that. I don't even know what Fox...
Frankly, every woman that's been married to him and like been with him has said that they've been beaten by him, to be quite frank with you.
I don't know what Foxy's even done. I mean, everything is kind of behind the scenes stuff. It's not anything publicly. I think that I know Mad Max speaking to the female agenda. I think the only female MCs they're gonna have ahead of Kim is going to be Missy and Nicki. And I do think it's problematic to put Nicki ahead of Kim, but this
And
is
Missy. It's problematic to put any female ahead of Kim. I mean, if you're
well.
going to count Lauren, because Lauren's about to make this list too.
Oh yeah, Lauren's gonna make the list too. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's not as sexist as the list isn't as sexist as you think.
No,
What
I don't
they're
think the
doing
list
to
is
Foxy
sexist.
might have some sexism to it though, because it's like, do you?
Do you think that? Do you think Cardi or Megan's gonna make it?
Oh, it's very problematic.
Because we're talking
What do
about
you think about the
Billboard
Brat?
here. We're talking about Billboard here, right?
What do you
And
think
so
about the Brat? The Brat. That's why I just thought of the
Oh, no,
Brat.
the
She's
Brat's
first
not making
female
the
MC
list.
to go platinum.
she's not making the list. The Brat's not
She's
making.
the first female MC to go platinum. This is Billboard.
She's not making the list.
Okay, it's very problematic.
I think that there's a chance that Cardi can make the list though. I don't see
makes the
Cardi
list.
not making the list.
There's no way Cardi's making this list.
You don't think so?
No, I don't. I don't think they're that stupid.
Huh. Okay, well, let me go over this one more time.
You have to
and
be
we'll
very
get to
stupid.
The 30s was pretty heavy, man. I'd take this 30s list in a versus probably over their 20s list.
I mean, it's hard for me to totally disagree with some of the things. The only one that kind of stuck out to me is like, I don't know, it made me think like about Chuck and about Kim, but that was about it.
Dr. Dre at 40. He shouldn't be on the list, right?
Well, I mean,
Ludacris at 39. That's about right.
yeah.
Gucci at 38. I don't have no problem with that either. Common at 37. Common should be in the top 20 arena, I think.
Yeah.
Yassine Bey at 36. Honestly, that's not as
a little
off.
high.
Yeah.
People keep talking about how much they love him. It's like, no. We all love who he is and what he does on the mic as an MC. But it's like, do you understand the work that people have put in?
Yeah, exactly.
And how great that work is. Like, how about this? How can you even sit him next to Common when Common's walking around with 5 great albums? Most is walking around with 5 great albums.
He doesn't even have 5 albums.
No, I mean,
He doesn't. He doesn't. I mean, we count Black Star albums, yeah, but
that makes it what, 7 total?
yeah. Future at 35. You know, I guess I don't have a problem with that. Chuck at 34. I think Chuck's more of a top 20 guy. Busta at 33. I'm kind of okay with, that range.
No, that's not
T.I.
like the
at
Buster and the
32.
T.I. thing. It's like, no, I think they kind of do maybe fall in that range.
I think T.I. at 32, I think he's more of a top 30 guy, but I would probably give him a little bit, a couple more slots up. But, just judging based on what people say about T.I. and how you guys react to me having T.I. higher than that slightly, maybe 32 is about right.
But that's what I mean when I say in that range. It's like, no. They're within striking distance of some of these guys. I do feel like I don't know. Where are we on our list? Because I feel like Chuck is definitely top 30.